quarterbacks, we got to get into today's show, and that is the quarterback battles happening in the training camp. And we're going to start off the very, very, very competitive quarterback battle, and that is the Browns quarterback battle. So, guys, let's jump right into it because this is the one of the most fascinating quarterback battles I have seen in the NFL in a very, very long time. We're talking about the 4 quarterbacks, 2 rookies and 2 vets, one of the most wide open and unpredictable competitions going into the 2025 NFL season. That is the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation. We have Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and of course, Shedeur Sanders. Now, this isn't your typical rookie versus vet training camp scenario. No. It goes deeper than that, guys. The Cleveland Browns are doing something no other team has dared to attempt, and for a good reason. This is a very chaotic, it's risky, but it just might work in the end, or it could blow up in their face. But let's break it down. So, guys, when we look at their quarterback situations, we have to start up at the top. We have to talk about the old man river, and that is Joe Flacco, Mr. Veteran Man himself. He is the known quantity, right? You know what you're going to get from Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is the most accomplished quarterback out of the group. There's no doubt about it. He's got an arm, he's got the experience, and most importantly, he has a trust of Kevin Stefanski. He played in this system, he knows what to expect, but let's not ignore the reality. Guys, Joe Flacco is 40 years old. He's not a young pup anymore. Most of these kids were in their daddy's balls when Joe Flacco was winning the Super Bowl. Let's just be flat out honest about it. But he has thrown 17 interceptions in his last 12 starts. That's just not rust, guys. That is a decline. That is a decline for Joe Flacco. There's a reason why nobody wanted him the last couple seasons. But hey, the upside with Flacco is short-term stability, but week 1 stability doesn't guarantee long-term availability. This team doesn't want to limp into a 9-8 with the 40-year-old game manager. They're looking for a spark, and that's where Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders comes into play. The long shots, I like to put them, for now. These two bring the juice. They got youth. They got huge upside on both of them if they're coached and trained properly, and they got the mobility to roll the pocket. But unless one of them turns into Russell Wilson via 2012 during training camp, they're not winning this job out of the gate. Because let's just be honest, Gabriel is a gamer. He's accurate, he's smart, and he's mobile, but does he have the NFL processing speed? That's the question about Dillon Gabriel. Sanders. Everybody's watching this kid. The media hype, the Dion factor, the arm talent, it's all there. But coming from Colorado, the jump to the NFL speed is going to be massive. The Browns don't spend day 1 or day 2 picks on him if he doesn't flash early. Don't be surprised if he's the odd man out, even if it's just temporary, aka trade bait, aka trade, aka heading to the Dallas Cowboys. So who starts for week 1? We have Joe Flacco. We have Dillon Gabriel, we have Shedeur Sanders, and let's not forget about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Pennsylvania himself, Kenny Pickett. So guys, in the comments below, who do you think starts week 1 for the Cleveland Browns? I am going with Kenny Pickett. I think Kenny Pickett is a safe pick. I think Kenny Pickett is the logical pick, and I think Kenny Pickett is going to be the long-term answer in Cleveland, and here's why. He gives them the best blend of readiness and upside. He's not flashy, he's not dominant, but Cleveland doesn't need that. They don't need flashy, they don't need dominant, they need competition. They need competent. They need a smart quarterback. As simple as that. They need someone who won't implode under pressure, who understands what it takes to be a starter, and who still has room to grow. That is Kenny Pickett written all over it. Kenny Pickett is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Kenny Pickett has been a starter. He has been a backup, and now he's going to be the starter again. This could be a Sam Darnold type of recumulation project that actually hits. So look at the facts. He's only a couple years removed from being a first-round pick. He's good. He's got the starting experience in Pittsburgh under serious pressure. He's still young, still coachable, and now in a system that fits him the best he has ever fit anywhere in Philly or Pittsburgh. Guys, Cleveland doesn't want to throw a rookie into the fire with a playoff caliber roster, and they definitely don't want to bank their season on a 4-year-old who's falling apart by week 5. Let's just be honest. That makes Kenny Pickett the best option to bridge that to gap between the present and the future. So in the comments below, guys, who wins the battle? Unless one of the rookies turns into a training camp legend or Joe Flacco somehow turns back the clock, I feel Kenny Pickett will be your week 1 starter in Cleveland. But what do you think, guys? Will the Browns roll with Flacco one more time? Do you believe in Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel stealing the spotlight? Or is Kenny Pickett the right man for the job? Let me know in the comments below, guys. It's a live interactive show. I want to hear from you, hear your thoughts. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And of course, this is a live interactive show, and I cannot scroll to the top of the chat. What the hell? My bad, guys. So apparently I cannot scroll to the top of the chat. So let's go over here. Mellow Mike said, factor crap. I'm called crap. Texas, we're talking about the Texans, so get out of here, Mellow Mike. No, Old Man River says it's based on how well the old line plays to determines Flacco's history. So listen, Flacco is 40 years old. Flacco is not mobile. Flacco is not going to be the man, the myth, the measure. Flacco is going to be a drop back, hand the ball off to Jerome Ford and sit in the pocket. That's what you get from Joe Flacco. I'm just saying. Mellow Mike says more like the bench warmers. James Frank said, they're barely giving the rookies reps so far. I know only 2 days into training camp, so hopefully they give them more. Gabriel is probably too short for the NFL, but Gabriel does have. It's assuming he says he has it, right? So yeah, we are only 2 days into training camp, and you really have to figure out what you want to do. So yes, I do get it. I mean, let's just be honest. You can still have Deshaun Watson come back, even though they put him on the PUP list. He could be back. He could be back. Old Man River says Flacco will be week 1 starter. Okay. Get off of there. James Frank says they're barely giving the rookies any reps so far. I just read that. Alpha Rob said, I think Alpha Rob says, I think it's Pickett. He's too. He's not as bad as people think he is. So I agree. I think Kenny Pickett has kind of got the short end of the stick per se. Because when you really look at Kenny Pickett, he was not coached well in Pittsburgh, right? He was not coached well in Pittsburgh at all. And it 100% shows. Can I copy that link or what? Like, what's going on? Excuse me. There it is. So yeah. So yes, Kenny Pickett has tons of room to grow, and honestly, I hope he does it. Like, Alpha Rob says he has a winning record as a starter. I did not know Kenny Pickett had a winning record as a starter, but I guess when you're a starter at Pittsburgh, you don't have losing seasons. So obviously that makes sense. Plus, he has a Super Bowl ring to back him up. James Frank says, I want Flacco to be the week 1 starter. I've seen the chemistry that he has with Njoku, and he'll develop a good one with Jerry Jeudy. Pickett could probably do the very well in Kevin's offense. I don't trust baby hands, though. Flacco, damn it. Ooh, James Frank loves him from Joe. James, wasn't it you a couple years ago said flack around and find out? Let's flack around and find out. Old Man River says Flacco will play 5 weeks in the Gabriel or Sanders. And Old Man River, I would agree with you, except for what Myles Garrett just said today. So if you guys are watching our 24/7 news channel, I posted something up there today that Myles Garrett kind of shocked me a little bit, right? Myles Garrett, of course, it's July. Everybody's happy. Everybody thinks they're going to the Super Bowl. But Myles Garrett has doubled down and said the Browns have a Super Bowl roster and they expect to be in the Super Bowl. And honestly, they kind of do. Jerome Ford is a really, really good running back. I'm not saying he's Nick Chubb good, but he's pretty damn good. The wide receiver core is sneakily pretty good as well. Njoku could easily be a top 5 tight end in the NFL, hands down. And this defense has shown flashes of greatness. If they could put that all together and be great for 18 weeks, 19, 20 weeks, this is a Super Bowl caliber team. Now, I'm not calling the Browns a Super Bowl team. I'm not saying they're going to Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're winning the AFC North. I'm not saying they're going to AFC Championship games. Slow it down. But I'm saying they have the potential, if everything comes to well good, they gel, and they get great quarterback play from Kenny Pickett. Just being a game manager, don't turn the ball over. Things can go well. James Frank says, I don't even bring the guy's name for is done. For meeting Deshaun Watson. No, I don't know, man. Mellow Mike says Flacco starts the season on a short leash. Turn to Pickett if things go off the rails. Stefanski will go with Flacco week 1. So you guys are all kind of leaning towards the Joe Flacco thing. So here's my next question. Let's piggyback on what we're talking about here. Because obviously, in the NFL realm, you only really carry 3 quarterbacks, right? You carry 2 quarterbacks on your active roster, and now you have that emergency quarterback. So therefore, you have that 4th-string quarterback, a.k.a. the practice squad quarterback. So if you guys are all thinking Flacco and Kenny Pickett, let's just say those are your 1 and 2. No particular order, they're just your 1 and 2. Who is going to be 3? Is it Shedeur Sanders? Or is it Dillon Gabriel? And then you get to the point where you put the other team or the other quarterback on your practice squad. Are you willing to let some other team scoop him up because the practice squad is open for anybody to cherry pick the players off of, as long as they put them on the active roster? So it would not shock me one bit if a Shedeur Sanders becomes a wide receiver all of a sudden, or something just like that. But who is the 3rd string guys and who's the 4th string? That's what it comes down to. Mellow Mike says Browns Super Bowl. Not even draft day was that bold. I won't see that in my lifetime. Not wrong, Mellow Mike. Matter of fact, Mellow Mike, I think I've seen a T-shirt that the Browns fans have. It says, "I just want to go to Super Bowl in my lifetime, like 45 years and waiting," or something crazy. It's just silly. Let's Go Sports is in the chat. What's up, Let's Go Sports? He says Flacco will start the season, and he should. Best out of all of them. Pickett sucks. They'll go for him for 2 games, and he'll lose both. Technically, Gabriel starts over Sanders because of the draft rounds. Let's Go Sports. I think you have a little bit of bias in you. Because, so if you guys do not go, Let's Go Sports is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He, quote, suffered through the Kenny Pickett years. Kenny Pickett did not fit the Pittsburgh Steelers offense very well. Let's just call a spade a spade. He did not fit that system. He was not coached. He was not trained. He was just thrown in the fire and said, "Good luck, buddy." They were looking for an scapegoat at the end of the day. Kenny Pickett did his time, back up as the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, got that Super Bowl ring. Now it is time to shine. Let's Go Sports says the Browns are terrible and will continue to be terrible. Terrible, my best Charles Barkley voice. Damn. I love the AFC North rival we have going on here. We have James that is a Browns fan. We have Let's Go Sports is a Steelers fan. Then we have Lamont Brown is a Ravens fan. We have Ant that's a Ravens fan. Guys, we have a lot of AFC North fans here that are here on a regular basis. And you know what? Let's stir that pot. Let's stir the pot. James says, just one before I die. Please, one before I die. I want Super Bowl. Listen, man, I used to be the same way, James, and now I expect the Chiefs to win. Casey Morgan, Pigskin Pundit.
Pigskin Pundit. Get you some.
Guys, be like Casey, hit the subscribe button down below. $4.99 a month, get you free entry, free merch, and free extra live streams as well. So be like Casey. But he says Flacco will start. Pickett will take over half of the season. Gabriel will be the 3rd. Sanders will be the practice squad or trade fodder. Trade fodder. I'm not sure what that means, but he'll get traded. What he's basically saying, I think. That is tough. That is tough. James says neither of the rookies will be let go. Andrew Berry holds on to his draft picks no matter what. James, I'm not saying he is going to trade Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, but you cannot keep 4 quarterbacks on the active roster. It's not smart. And I think Andrew Berry's a little bit smarter than to keep 4 active quarterbacks on the roster. So therefore, one of those 4 is going to have to go to the practice squad. And the practice squad is free pickings for everybody to come and take. If you see what you want something, you can go like, I want him. As long as you put him on your active roster, nothing the Browns can do about it. Unless they put them on the active roster. I'm not for sure how that works, but either way, it's got to do. Mellow Mike says, I feel for Cleveland fans. Remember seeing the Browns fan Big Dog sitting in an empty stadium with the Browns left for Baltimore. With the old trash bags over their head, right? That is tough. Old Man River says, I agree to a point. Having a family NFL pedigree with Roman Gabriel in prime time, they want asses in the seats. Who is Roman Gabriel? I have no idea who Roman Gabriel is. Like, I'm not trying to sound ignorant or foolish, but who is Roman Gabriel? Talk to me, my boy. And Old Man River says, it's Kenny Pickett sacrifice. See, Old Man River, I would agree with you, except for they traded for Kenny Pickett, right? No. They signed, I guess they signed Kenny Pickett in the free agency, right? I feel like Joe Flacco is a sacrifice. Honestly, like if any one of the rookies step up and separates themselves from the other one and Kenny Pickett just being average, I don't care how good Joe Flacco is. I don't care how good he's playing. I don't care how well you expect him to play for 18 games. I think Joe Flacco's the old man out, honestly. Odd man out, not old man. Let's Go Sports says, I think from the best to the worst in the quarterback depth chart for the Browns should be Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders. Based off of talent and common sense, should be Flacco, Sanders, Pickett, Gabriel. I kind of agree with that, except for flip Pickett and Flacco. So Pickett, Sanders, Flacco, Gabriel. And if Flacco is a third string, he'd be like, I'm going to retire. Alpha Rob. Alpha Rob's dropping the truth bomb, boys. Browns have the Baker curse. Facts. 100% facts. Mellow Mike said, Andrew Berry traded for Deshaun Watson, drafted Gabriel and then Shedeur. Andrew Berry ain't that smart. Slow it down, Mellow Mike. Slow it down, baby. To be fair, when the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson, he was a MVP level quarterback. To be fair, when Deshaun Watson signed that $100 million deal in Houston, he was arguably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Now, obviously, when you sit out a year because of the whole massage scandal, yada, 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 obviously when you sit out, then another year with the Achilles injury, or I forget, no, so he hurt his shoulder, right? And then he was finally ready, and then he tore his Achilles. He just had a string of bad luck in Cleveland. Kind of reminds me of Chris McCaffrey just a little bit. Just can never get on the field, but when he is on the field, and he is 100%, he is the most dynamic player in the NFL, hands down. I'm just saying. When Deshaun Watson is 100%, and Deshaun Watson's head is in the game, and when Deshaun Watson gets a nice massage after the game, he is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So I don't think the Browns really got fleeced. I see you've seen that somewhere. He just had a string of bad luck. Let's Go Sports says, if the Browns are smart, they would trade a 4th quarterback to decide they decide not to keep. But if they all keep, just proves they're why they're the Cleveland Clowns. So you are kind of in a catch-22, right? Because if you trade them, you're probably going to get a 5th, maybe a 6th round pick for them. Possibly, maybe a late round 4. Possibly. Do you do that? Sure, why not? Get him out of town. James Frank says, isn't Roman Gabriel the wide receiver that Pittsburgh drafted that never saw the field last year? I don't know. But Old Man Rivers clarifies that he's a quarterback in the NFL from the 60s to 70s for the Rams and the Eagles. He says, Google me. Meaning Roman Gabriel. Well, we will have to Google him. Let's Go Sports says he was injured all last season. Who was injured all of last season? Roman Wilson. Oh, Roman Wilson. Okay. Casey.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Says they don't make enough paper bags to allow fans to fill the seats. Maybe start promoting the visiting teams might fill the seats. Alpha Rob ain't wrong, says James Frank. Whoa. Are we in agreements here? Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. There it is. Mellow Mike says, to be fair, if you guys have not watched Letterkenny, I highly suggest it. There are a bunch of Canadians making fun of Americans when it comes down to. But he says, to be fair, the Texans fleeced Andrew Berry. The Browns did give up a hell of a lot for Deshaun Watson. I'm just putting it out there. Casey says Browns letting Baker go was one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen. Facts. Old Man River says between Geno and Flacco has a ring to it. What? So you think if Joe Flacco gets cut by the Browns and goes to the Raiders? Geno and Flacco has a ring to it. Get out of here. Nobody cares about their Raiders.